So today we'll be exploring Joanne Arender's feminist theory and its application to education, particularly within the space of science education. So Joanne Arender's feminist theory provides a vital lens for examining systems of power and oppression in education. It's not just about understanding inequities, but it's also about actively addressing them. Arender's model aims to be inclusive of all learners, and when applied to science education, it can help by offering a roadmap for creating equitable, dynamic classrooms that value diverse perspectives and lived experiences. So Arender emphasizes that, and I quote, the purpose of using a feminist lens is to enable the discovery of how people interact within systems and possibly offer solutions to confront and eradicate oppressive systems and structures, end quote. This model specifically addresses disparities created by systemic biases, highlighting how education often reflects societal hierarchies. So we have to remember that feminist theory is grounded in critical theory and emphasizes dismantling oppressive systems. So Arender's framework highlights three key components. So first, sex, gender, and race. By recognizing how intersecting identities shape educational systems, we're able to navigate on how to address these biases. So me as a young Black woman, especially within science, I'll have a vastly different experience than a young white male, especially because science education has historically catered more to young white males or just more of a privileged class of individuals. So the second thing we need to highlight are discrimination and equality. So confronting systemic inequities while advocating for fair treatment. And lastly, difference and choice. So we have to value the different perspectives and then also value that all learners come at different levels, come from different places. So valuing the agency of all learners. So Arender stresses that inclusivity is just not about representation. It's also about actively challenging a system that creates and perpetuates inequities. So she notes that feminist theory specifically values lived experiences and challenges traditional hierarchies that perpetuate inequity. So again, as mentioned earlier, historically, science education has marginalized women, Black learners, and other underrepresented groups. So by applying feminist theory, educators can integrate diverse perspectives, include contributions from multiple cultures and genders, and encourage students to critically examine inequities in systems of power in order to combat these historical inequities. So research supports this approach. For example, there's one study on um, science teacher education that found a secondary science methods course grounded in inclusionary feminist principles led to the development of activist pre-service science teachers with a commitment to representation and to recognition and discussion of bias. So this demonstrates how training teachers with feminist principles can transform classroom environments and foster a sense of equity. Similar to this, Lasker and Simcox in 2018 highlighted that applying feminist theory and social justice pedagogy within the chemistry classroom can help focus the student's learning experience away from hierarchical outcomes that often perpetuate discriminatory practices towards change agency and the pursuit of equity. Their work illustrates how feminist pedagogy can actively change learning outcomes, resulting in more inclusive science classrooms. So, in conclusion, Arender's feminist theory provides a critical and powerful framework for understanding and addressing equities in all spaces of education, but especially with the emphasis within STEM education. So, the framework has this emphasis on lived experiences, intersectionality, and systemic change, and it all aligns directly with the goals of inclusivity. So, applying this theory creates spaces where all students can meaningfully engage and achieve their fullest potential. Not only does this benefit marginalized learner, but it enriches science education and all education as a whole. So, thank you for listening to my analysis. And we must always remember that feminist theory in education isn't just a concept, but it can also be used as a tool for transformation.